Hello guys, just going to do a quick audio test before we start. Hello guys, I'm here. One thing I did forget to do, sorry guys, is quickly set up the little overlay for us. So I'll just set that now. It literally takes me not very long to set this up. So, and that's it. Cool. Everything's set up. I'm here. Cool, the audio is working good. I didn't actually get a chance to hear the audio test because I forgot to unmute my browser on YouTube there, but whatever. Oh well. So yeah, we are here at the lovely Denver International Airport. We finished off last Sunday. Haven't actually flown. I haven't flown the 737 for quite some time. We haven't got any ATC. I was really hoping... Oh, let's get the desktop audio on as well, actually. I was really hoping that I'd get some nice ATC today from Minneapolis Centre, and they're not online. So, because they have been online a lot in previous streams when I haven't been around this area, and they're not online today. So that's a shame. Who knows, maybe we'll get some later, but right now, as it stands, nothing, sadly. Go ahead and file my flight plan. So we're heading over to Minneapolis. It actually is not too long a flight, a little bit shorter than normal, about an hour and 34. So today's stream might end up being a little bit shorter than a typical stream. However, tomorrow, I'm going to be making up for that. So, and I will show you guys once we're at cruise what's going to show as well. I'm really excited for that. I want to make sure it's all working when it comes to actual stream. Let's get the ground power connected then, and the APU off. Make sure that is set. Cool. And that's about it for now, isn't it? Yes. So, I haven't really flown this this bird for quite some time, actually. It's been about 2 weeks now, hasn't it? So go ahead and request boarding. We have... Oh, I haven't checked how many packs we're meant to be hauling over to Minneapolis today. We are taking 144. Now, before I go ahead and tell GSX that, I'll forget it. I'm pretty sure this thing can fit 144, so we should be okay. Lag, there we go. So one thing I want to do now is get the load and fuel sorted. This thing's in kilos good. The jetways have been operated GSX, don't worry. So, fuel today, first of all, we are taking 7898 on the fuel. Shouldn't be any in the centre tank. Oh, really? There's literally the smallest amount in the centre tank, and it just annoys me. We'll take 3940 in each. Okay, invalid entry then. Let's just take slightly less fuel then. We'll take 7800. We should be okay. There's no point having that little in the centre tank. What about 7820? Can I get away with that? There we go. 7820. That's as close as we're going to get, I think, without piling it in. We're 144 packs on board today. So, 0 in first class. I'll go ahead and open the front and back doors. And then finally, I want to go ahead and check what our zero fuel weight is. So we're looking for 56.7. So we'll add 300 more. So about 3,400 on both. Should do the trick. Okay, we're looking for a little bit more. There, 59, no. Oh great, I've read it wrong. We're looking for 56.7, not 59.7. So I need to remove 3. So I need to move 1,500 from each now. Right, okay. Let's just try putting in 1,000 of both. That gives us 54.8. What's up with my maths today? We need to lose 3,000, so I lost about that much. Oh, who knows? So I need to add 2,000 again. Right, is that going to work? 56.8. This is unbelievable, this. 1950 and 1950. There! 56.7. Are you happy now, game? Thank you. Everything's all cool then. I normally would do that with the other FMC, but it was busy, so whatever. So we're here on the ground in Kilo Delta Echo November, K-Den, Denver. I'm heading down to Kilo Mike, Sierra Papa, Minneapolis, KMSP. Course line today is Delta 451.
Hello.
Right, now on to our departure. So we're going to be taking runway 34 left today. And we're going to take the Chewy 1 departure today. From Chewy, we are... Right, where's SimBrief now? From Chewy, we are going direct to KD75 Alpha. Yes, that's a waypoint. I thought it was an airway when I initially looked at it. I was like, what's going on there? And to SS1. So activate that. And then arrival today, the winds favour 3.5 or 3.0. 3.0 is the main sort of wind, you know, it's the main runway over there, so we're taking 3.0 left, I think. I think we're taking 3.0 left. Yes, we are, 3.0 left. It's going to be vectors, manual vectors from the end of our approach today, because no transition fitted the arrival of Torquay 3 with the SWAN transition. Execute that. We're looking for about 600 and something miles, I think, today. We were looking for 625. Perfect. So now the init page, get the 0 fuel weight in there. Cost index today we're looking at 17, quite a low cost index. Reserves are going to be 2. Cruising day at 370 today in this plane. As always, transition altitude is going to be 18,000 here in the US. And the cruise winds, let me get those up, are 274 at 19er. There we go, get that in there. Execute that. This thing will probably yell at us about a few speed restrictions that it can't follow. And yeah, so it's not too long a flight today. You know, I mean, it could definitely be longer. Moving on to the N1 limits, no D rates today, I don't think. It's going to be a flaps 5 takeoff today.
Hello.
There we go. V2 is going to be 145, so we'll get that plugged into here. And we'll get the flight directors on the left side, right side, on the auto throttle. VNav, LNav. There we go. And that is everything all fixed in there then. So that means we are all ready to go. Get these gens on back here. Everything's all looking good at the top apart from the APU. Let's get that on now. Because why not? And finally, get ourselves tuned on to Unicom now. 122.8. No need to announce anything on Unicom at the moment. There is absolutely nothing in the area of Denver or heading to Denver. So we're absolutely fine. So over to Unicom. And that's it, I think. Really, that is about it. Why are we getting an auto throttle warning? What is it, plane? Make sure this is an idle position. Yeah. There we go. I think there was a slight error with how the clock was set. Cool, I'm going to be able to see sort of where I am. And we'll get the weather radar turned on as well. Make sure it's set on the weather radar. Where is the weather radar in this thing? Make sure that's set to 2200 as well. And we'll get that on. Where you are, weather radar. We'll set you to weather and turbulence. Great. And the oil brakes can go over to the RTO position. Now, one cool thing, while making this overlay, I discovered I could do this, is a little Navigraph chart overlay, so you guys can see what I'm doing today. GSX is going to be yelling at us, I think, but oh well. So we'll go ahead and look at our charts then for today. Let's go ahead and open charts list. I'll go ahead and bookmark a few of the ones that we're going to be using today. Just the airport info. And this one, and we're going to be taking the Chewy one. So we're currently parked at gate Alpha 40. So we're going to want to push back left, head down there, then down there to the runway. And that's the airport. Look, you can see where we are. There we go. Look, we're here. Push back to the right, it's going to be. And then head down to the runway 34 left. This thing is yelling at me to close the doors, so excuse me a minute, I will just do that quickly. Is the baggage finished? I think it is. So we'll do that, close all the doors up, then this can go back into the FMC progress page. Great. Why is it suddenly 629 miles now, or whatever? So I know what I'm doing now, so we'll just check out the Chewy 1 departure today. So we're going to be heading out of 35 left to Qatar. Yes, where we need to be below 10,000, and then we're heading out to Yokes above 17,000, yep, and then it's straight off to Lingwood and Chewy. Quite a simple departure today, so I can get rid of that now. Cool. So that is all ready and set then for today, and now I will make sure there's no proper restrictions on departure, so straight up to 370 here. Heading can be set round to 350, and everything else is ready, I believe. We have our APU power on. Get the fuel pumps turned on, and make sure that I no longer have... Alright, set the parking brakes, and make sure all that's gone. Cool. Back into the FMC then, progress page. Great, I think we're all ready to go. So let's go ahead and call GSX. I'm going to push back to the right then. And once we're at cruise, I'll talk to you guys about what I plan to do tomorrow. Everything's looking good there.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Also, why not have a look at our arrival? Have a look at our whole route, really. And it's going to be vectors to final, I believe, is what it's saying on the charts. Yes, from J Jenny, we've got to vector ourselves onto the ILS. Shouldn't be too difficult. In fact, I can actually go direct, I reckon. Looking at that look, that's quite easy to go direct. I've got no discounts. No, great. That means this can go out of plan mode. Yeah, I don't know. I don't need to vector myself with that. Right, press B to reset the QNH to 3025, which it is here in Denver. I'll have a check now. Yes, it is. I want to push back right now.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Cool. My voice is working good then. Go ahead and start engine number 2 first. And we'll get the engine page over here. Oh, silly me. Right, let's get the packs turned off. Just realised I hadn't done them. The engines will not start if the packs are turned on. So let the power start heading up. There's 20. We'll introduce fuel on number 2. And we'll start number 1. And one important thing, what's our trim value for takeoff today? I didn't do that. 4.35, okay. Gone too far there. And introduce fuel to engine number 1. 4.33. Is there a way I can, like, view my elevator trim without having to scroll over it? Is there anywhere that says it? Because I'd like to know it without having to, like, look. Over here, down here. Oh, obviously not. Set parking brakes. Cool.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Engines are good. And yeah, I'm just waiting on... Oh yeah, the trim. Make sure it's set correctly. I'm looking for 4.35. It takes ages to update, sadly. There we go, 4.35 is set. Do a quick checklist check now. All that's good. All this is good.
Unlocking gear.
Yep, these can go into the continuous position now. Beacon light can come on. Taxi light can come on.
Tow truck disconnected.
Engine gens can come on. APU can come off. This can go up to our cruise altitude of 370. Get the packs on to the auto position. And there we go. That is us all ready then. If I check there, yes. Excellent. Excellente. Right, get the block time clock started now then. I got some scenery installed for Minneapolis, just some nice basic scenery.
Left is clear. Right.
But yeah, everything is all set up and ready to go now. No ATC in the area, sadly. I think after this week I might stop flying in the US quite as much because, you know, when was the last time I got ATC last stream in the US, and it was a little bit of Los Angeles Center control, as in I got clearance and then they disconnected. Like, it's just not the right time for controllers in America the time I stream. You know, they're just not online. So I think I will stop it because it's a bit pointless, because at the moment the UK is full of ATC and I'm flying within the US with no ATC. Like, what's the point? But for today we are heading over to Minneapolis, and we are flying out of the US tomorrow. Not out of Minneapolis, somewhere a bit different, doing a fun Saturday stream. No, Friday stream. I got my Friday free, so I thought, what can we do? Right, flaps 1, 2, and 5. Ready for departure there. Head outside, this lovely little Delta livery. Nice plane, this. Weather here in Denver, we are a bit cloudy at the moment, broken at 800 feet. The weather wasn't originally cloudy, but there was a weather update just now. And it is a bit cloudy now. Broken at 800 feet, broken at 8,000 feet, and then broken at 12,000 feet. So we've got a few layers of clouds to get through. We're taxiing down here now. There's no indication of what this taxiway is actually called on the chart, but it's just the one that runs parallel to parking gate A. It should say on here actually. Alpha Sierra was taxiing along. No, this is Alpha. I don't know, actually. The scenery might... Oh, no. This is Alpha Sierra, that's Alpha. Cool. So we're heading along here now. Just want to taxi along here, and then it'll be along Whiskey Alpha once we reach the end of this bit. So we're going to head like that, and then straight up. So turn brief left, right, up. Everything's looking good, I think, in terms of up here. May as well get this on now, and the runway turn-offs and the taxi lights can come off, because, you know, it's quite a short taxi today. Everything looks good up there. Check the recall, it's good. Everything is set. We're on Unicom, TCAS is turned on, and it's set to 2200 for IFR with no support code. So yeah, we'll turn left here onto Alpha, and then that turns into Whiskey Alpha, and that'll take us straight to 34 left, so... Cool. And as I said, no need to report on Unicom. We are the only plane heading for Denver, or anywhere near Denver, so there's nothing approaching or near, basically. Minneapolis, there's a few planes. I think there's one plane approaching it, but it's actually from Seoul in Korea, and it's not getting there for 8 hours. So we have got we've got Denver Airport solely to ourselves, and Minneapolis at the moment totally to ourselves. This is what I mean, it's so quiet in the US when we do these streams. Vatsim has started getting quieter. I mean, we're down to just 900 connections. It was a lot busier last Thursday, so it's got, you know, the numbers, you know, normally it'd be about 1,400 connections at this time of day. You're down to 900, so I think it's resuming back to normality Vatsim is, as people go back to work and everything like that. Sadly, it's been nice to have Vatsim so busy, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that busy now. But a nice calm taxi along here, heading up to 34 left. We'll take off on 34 left and then head on to the Chewy 1 departure. Quite a simple departure out of Denver. Denver's a pretty nice airport for its procedures. There was no vectors on the way in and there's no vectors on the way out, unlike all the other US airports. I don't like airports that do those whole vector procedures because it doesn't work on Vatsim that well when you've got no controllers. I mean, sometimes you can just vector it yourself. Luckily, even though we've got vectors in Minneapolis, you can easily just delete the vectors, and it basically, because of how the 2 points are arranged, it doesn't matter. But if the 2 points are a bit further apart and require more complex vectors, then that's when you start to have problems, like when we flew into Portland, I think it was. It was slightly more complex vectors, possibly, I can't remember. But heading down Whiskey Alpha here, we'll get on the runway from Whiskey Alpha, we'll go full length. May as well. Auto brakes are set, flaps are set to 5, got plenty of fuel on board. So, cool. We are here at the runway, everything's already set up, so we can just go ahead and taxi ourselves on and get out of here. It's a cool plane this, haven't really flown it, like I said, for about 2 weeks now. I think the last time I did fly it was into Los Angeles about 2 weeks ago now. Also, it has occurred to me, I don't think we've flown the A320 within the US at all. We've flown the 787 once, and all the other times have been in the 73. It was nuts. And go ahead and line ourselves up on the runway here. And power up to 40%. Cool. Start the clock. And toga. Off we go. Winds aren't too strong over here in Denver, I don't think. So we should be okay. Airspeed is live. Very cloudy day here in Denver as well. Any knots? Think about it, how can clouds be broken 800 feet? Because this airport's 5,400 feet high, or whatever. But it means 800 feet above the ground, but I always thought it meant in general.
V1.
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 Rotate.
V2.
It's about a 10 knot wind, although this plane feels very nice to fly, I've got to say. Better to fly than, you know, a lot of planes. Right, and we are in the air, positive rate, gear up. We're at 400 feet radio altitude, so we have VNAV now. So I can actually follow a proper path now. There we go. There's the clouds, look. Straight away greeting us. It is a very high up area, Denver. I'm pretty sure Minneapolis is pretty high up as well, really, as well. Passing 7,000 now. This thing started throttling back a little bit. Go flaps 2 now. And we'll turn around to the left now to head round to Inkata. We need to be above 10,000 there. However, I think we should make that pretty easily. There you go, heading into the clouds that have broken at 8,000 now. And there's flaps 1. Push the nose down a little bit more now. It's getting quite cloudy in the area, so I'll go ahead and get the autopilot on and retract the flaps all the way. Let this thing speed itself up a little bit now. Auto brakes can go back to the off position. Wait, no. Runway turn-offs can come off, and the engine start switches can go back into the off position. And there we go, cool. We are gaining speed pretty safely now. It's very cloudy out there. It's a very cloudy Denver airport, and Minneapolis, I think, is also quite cloudy. If you have a look there, look on my overlay, you can see we are currently just sort of ascending out on our departure today. Quite a nice and simple departure, this. And we are passing 10,000 feet now, so Off go the landing lights. Transition altitude 18,000 here in the US. So we'll wait until then to set standard pressure. This can go up to 80 nautical mile range. There's very few waypoints on today's route, really. I don't know why this thing's just stopped climbing when it's got no speed to gain. Oh, never mind, that's just me being silly. I forgot there's a restriction at Qatar. We have got quite a bit of turbulence and the like, so that could be interesting. Hopefully that stays away, or I'll have to try and vector ourselves around that. It looks like it's going away from us by the looks of it. It's heading round the right, so at the moment we're looking okay. Getting a little bit of speed as well, up to about 290 knots. Yeah, I don't know, it might go away by the time we reach it. We've got seatbelt signs on, there's not too much red there, so I should be able to fly through it, I think. I mean, vectoring ourselves around, that would be a bit of a pain. Let's turn down the range so I know exactly how long we've got. However, I can't then see the weather. How come I can only see the weather at 80 nautical miles out? Okay, it's gone now. I'm not sure. Oh, there you go. It's back now. That makes no sense. Or was the weather radar just really slow to refresh? It must be really slow to like do the whole. There we go. So I'll keep it like this for now. As you can see, there's not so much red, just quite a bit of turbulence. So we'll have to watch that. Pink is turbulence. Hopefully as we climb, it will sort of even out. I think it's this pocket of clouds maybe that's the issue. I'm not sure. However, we're not being bumped around yet, so not too bad. Oh, this looks like the start. Got a little bit of turbulence. Look at that wing flex. Okay, we'll lock the gear in place. Yeah. We are getting quite a bit of turbulence here. Maybe... I don't know, it just seemed to even out a little bit then. A little bit of a rough day above Denver. But we are now climbing safely above it, hopefully. I don't know. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. It's a little bit covered in weather. However, I think it's mainly in these clouds. I don't know whether this thing's going to try and climb to avoid it, maybe. Who knows? Is that like lightning flashes or something? I just see little like beams of light refreshing. Is that like a texture bug or is there lightning? I don't think there's lightning somehow. Or maybe there is. That was definitely a flash. Interesting. Right, we'll set standard pressure now. Yeah, I think there's lightning in the area. Possibly. Is there a weather warning for this area of the world? Like, I'm going to have a look on Active Sky now. Where we are right now, there is a warning that says... It says, yeah, storm. There's a little storm going on. Okay. Between, it says tops to flight level 450. So by the looks of it, yeah, there is a little storm going on outside of Denver. However, look, as you can see, we have sort of climbed out the worst of it. I'm going to leave the seatbelt signs on for now, just in case we hit some turbulence. And by the looks of it, this is going to be with us for quite a while. But yeah, we have got a little bit of storm. I don't know where the lightning is coming from, the flashes of light. It's coming from somewhere. Yeah, very interesting weather out of Denver today then. I didn't know about that. The winds aren't too strong though, it's just the weather, I think. Just the main bit of weather. However, as you can see, look, where we are currently isn't too bad. We've got a little patch there. I might try and avoid if it doesn't clear. Because generally, I don't know why, but in this sim, I always see things on the weather radar, and then by the time I get to them, they're gone. For some reason. Like, maybe it's because I'm climbing altitude or something, maybe it's how Active Sky works, but I think we will set the heading rounds to this direction, just in case I need to intervene, but because that will also allow me to see where we're going to be heading. By the looks of it though, this is bad. I mean, look at that, that's not good, so I might need to climb a little bit before I can sort of resume own route. Because it's about 8 miles away now, that bad weather, and I'd rather not be in it. I mean, so far the turbulence hasn't been too bad, so hopefully it remains like that. However, it is getting closer to us, and then that's the bit I'm worried about. All of that looks very angry, let's put it that way. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into heading mode. I don't want to risk getting involved with this storm. I can already see the wings starting to shake, so let's vector ourselves away at a heading of about 350, then I'll aim to sort of get ourselves back on course, because by then I think we would have climbed high enough above this storm, hopefully. I don't know exactly how high this storm is, however, there's no clouds above that. That's the main bit of craziness, I think, inside these clouds. But yeah, I'm just skimming around the outside and try and gain a bit of altitude. But yeah, it's not the nicest of weather today then, I didn't know that. But yeah, I'll probably go direct to Lungwood afterwards. That's probably what I'll try and do. And as you can see now, it is starting to clear up a little bit as we climb above it. I mean, we've still got 11,000 feet more to climb. The seatbelt signs aren't off yet, I have to remember that. Right, that weather there, look, is almost gone. So let's go ahead and resume our nav now. And I'll have to watch how the storm progresses over here. But we're still 40 miles away from that, so we'll have plenty of time to climb out of its way, hopefully. So we've avoided the first part of it. I think there's another part. And just to be sure, let's go ahead and put it in vertical speed mode, because I don't trust it to climb quick enough. I want to get ourselves up to 370, preferably before this happens. So there we go. Might mean a little bit of a strain on the engines to keep the speed going, but I don't mind. Yeah, very interesting departure this. I did not expect this. Probably the most interesting departure we've ever had without any ATC or anything like that. So there we go. Just keep an eye on that, I guess. And hopefully, look, we can climb above it. Because we should be at 370 by the time we get to it. And as soon as it starts to go away, which means, you know, the altitude's better, I'll then sort of resume normal operations. But our speed is dropping quite a bit. I'll lower the speed expectations a little bit so this plane doesn't have to work so hard. Because we're not meant to be climbing this rapidly. But I can't really vector myself around this, that's the problem. Because all of this is weather, so it's pretty solid weather. But hopefully at 37,000 feet that won't be an issue. That's what I've got to hope. I'm just lucky there's no restrictions on this slight departure that prevent me from doing this. As you can see now, it is starting to lift a little bit, the weather, because we are climbing. You know, these areas of weather are starting to clear. I think once we get above the clouds, all of the clouds, that is, we should be pretty good, but yeah. As I said, probably the most interesting departure I've had for quite some time without having any ATC or anything like that, so I'm well happy with that. I'm glad we did the flight today. Testing my skills out. And we'll set the heading round to what our current active heading is now, because I'm pretty sure, look, that I should be okay. Just got to climb a couple of thousand feet more to cruise. If possible, I think maybe we can go up to 390. I don't know whether the route allows it. Let's have a look. The route... Oh, I forgot. Because we're going direct on no airways, it doesn't matter what altitude we do. There's no altitude restrictions because we're not in an airway. So we should be alright. But anyway, I think we're okay now. So let's go ahead and get ourselves back into VNav now. As I'm pretty sure we have climbed enough, look. There's a small little spot, but we can avoid that if needed. It has cleared up a lot now we've climbed. We've climbed above most of it now. This thing will take a break from climbing for a bit, I think, while it gains some speed back that we lost. We lost quite a bit of speed there trying to force this thing up the altitudes. I can probably get the seatbelt signs off now, and as I said, I'll vector myself. Actually, it looks like the weather's clearing a path for us, look. It's getting better, basically, the weather, so... this thing will find it quite hard to gain speed at this altitude while trying to climb it, because obviously normally it would just follow a path that it could stick to itself, but I haven't been able to do that today, sadly, thanks to a few little altitude problems that we've had. But there you go, we're gaining speed nicely now, and you can see there it is starting to clear for us. So I'll put it into 80 nautical mile range and make sure there's nothing else in the area. Just check that. We're getting speed now, pretty well. And yeah, as you can see there, all the weather's moved over there now. That's where the problem area is, and we're not over there. So there we go, a bit of an eventful departure there from out of Denver, but we're good now. And we're above the clouds now. Some very high up clouds. I mean, 34,000 feet and there are clouds. That's pretty amazing. Not normal. Will it gain speed now? A few hundred feet more, yeah. But as you can see there, look, nice and empty. No weather to worry us. So yeah, I mean, we had to vector ourselves around a small amount of it, but pretty good. Not too much. Not too much vectoring around for us. And this thing has now been able to resume a proper climb as well, which is nice. And my graphics card needs an update. I'll have to do that another time. Can't do that now. Oh, this thing just... What happened there? That's turbulence, I think. Way, turbulence. Sorry, passengers. That's probably the first time I've ever had proper turbulence like that. Yeah, not a nice day out there. Maybe not the greatest of days for flying, but never mind. I'm just glad we're not flying a little teeny, like, VFR plane, like a Beach Baron or something. That would have been something. That thing could not cope with that sort of weather, but never mind. We've escaped most of it now. It's a little bit bumpy, look, but not too bad. And we've only got 900 feet to go, then we'll be up at cruising altitude. The speed is going a bit nuts, but that's turbulence again, isn't it? Way. There's no turbulence showing on my map, so that's quite interesting. And there we go, we're up at cruise now, so we can finally, hopefully, relax from this weather that we have been suffering with. Everything looks good up there. And the seatbelts are of course on. No, they're off. So hopefully the passengers don't get rocked around too much. You can still see the flashing of like the clouds back there. It is a very cloudy day actually. I mean, over in Minneapolis right now, It is very cloudy. Let's have a check of it. Actually, I'll get set up for the arrival in Minneapolis now. Once we pass Chewy, I'll do that. That's amazing, we're actually still on our departure. The weather down in Minneapolis, we have a few clouds at 8,500 feet. Minneapolis is at an elevation of just 800 feet, so not too bad. Let's go ahead and set our landing altitude then to 850. Cool. But yeah, it's a little bit cloudy over in Minneapolis, but not as bad as what we had in Denver. And you can see there, look, we are out the weather safely now. At last. Took us a little bit of time. Anyway, now let's start planning for our arrival. So I can show you guys the charts. Let's do that. Cool. Because while it's quiet, you guys can see what we're doing. So have a look at the chart first. Right. Let's get on to the charts for Minneapolis and bookmark them. So we're taking the Talkie 3. So we'll bookmark that. ILS 30 left, so we'll bookmark that. And then as always, I'll just bookmark the airport for later use. So this is our arrival today then. So we're going to be jumping on at Swan. Which is there. Okay, we need to be above 240 at Eric's and at 280 knots. We need to be at 280 at Torquay, above 13,000, yeah. Ofson above 11,000. And then Jaden above 10,000 at 250 knots. Hoodie above 9,000, yeah. And then we should head to Mauer, yes. And then it's to Jenny. And then from there, it's would normally be vectors into the ILS. However, today I decided to delete those vectors as it is very empty in terms of ATC. And the vector was very simple. As in, literally, you can see there, it's fine in not having a vector. It's literally just straight across like that. Nice and simple. So it hasn't caused us a problem. And then from there, we are going to be doing a Cat 1 landing. Minimums are going to be 10:23. Great, my favourite part of flying a Boeing 737. Going up the minimums, just scrolling endlessly. There you go, 10:23. And then we'll set our arrival speed as well. And get 110.3 tuned in there and 301 in there. That is our arrival, all good then. All planned. Cool, you can now enjoy this. Also, while we're up here, I think I want to show you guys what I have planned for tomorrow. So tomorrow, I'm going to be doing the first transatlantic flight I've ever done on Flight Sim. It does involve some special procedures like the NATS tracks and things, but I'll definitely put it in the remarks as I'm new to it, but hopefully it'll go pretty well for us. We're going to be taking a Fly UK 787 from Montreal to Heathrow. Now, obviously I can't, even though I will be at the sim the whole time, I don't want to talk for the whole time. My voice will be dead at the end of it. So what I did, look, I put together a little offline streaming. Now you can see this, look. We've got some music in the background as well. It's from YouTube Audio Library, so don't worry, it's non-copyright. And then you've got a map of where I am, where I'm going to return, I mean, and the overlay to look at. I mean, how cool is that? How cool is that? I'm going to have to listen to it now, actually. Let's get... So I'm going to listen to it now. And seriously, this is cool. It's from YouTube Audio Library, so don't worry, it's non-copyright. And then you've got a map. Does it work? Where I'm going to return. I'm wondering if that works, that music. I've recorded it and it works, but I'm suspicious. There. Right, I just want to test quickly, guys, to make sure that music is working in the stream. Because it was working when I recorded it, but maybe it doesn't work on a stream. I'll have to check. Now. So there you go. There. Right, I just want to test quickly, guys, to make sure that music is working in the stream. Because it was working when I recorded it, but... Okay, it doesn't seem to work. I don't know. I'll do a little test. Probably tonight I'll set up a stream and just do a 5-minute stream on the offline screen. So no one watched that. I'll probably delete it afterwards, just as a test. So I want to test to make sure it works. Cool. Anyway, because I mean, I've got some music selected and it was working earlier. So I want to make sure it's working for the stream. Because obviously, you know, the music is quite important to it. Because, you know, if you're going to stick around and watch, which I'm not sure how many people will, but you at least have some, you want to have, one, something to look at, so the map and the overlay, and two, something to listen to, music. You know, that's, you know, if I'm not able to talk, I have to provide an alternative, which is background music. Very calming, very nice. Maybe it's nice to just sit there, do your homework or whatever, look at how I'm doing, and listen to music or something, I don't know. But that's kind of, it's quite nice, isn't it? So, I'll set the heading round to what we're currently heading as well. Anyway, yeah, 24 minutes, we've got 328 miles left still to go till top of descent. But a pretty manic start of the flight. But very interesting. We've got like a 3-knot tailwind as well. Nothing massive. The tailwinds aren't quite as big as what Simbrief said they were going to be, so that'll be interesting. We might have something a bit different there. Also, I've just noticed the amazing support on this stream. We had loads of people watching earlier, I noticed that. 47 playbacks, that's a record by a lot. That is amazing. Thank you to whoever tuned in. I hope everyone who tunes in does enjoy the content, obviously. That's why I do it. So yeah, and then we're heading to our arrival. It's quite a straightforward arrival, so that's pretty nice. Check everything's all good up there, it is, so cool. So we've got 110 miles to go to like KD75 Alpha. I don't know why that's a waypoint. Like, it's the world's most randomly sounding waypoint. But whatever. And then after that we're heading to Swan, where we jump on our arrival. I'll just check the winds actually over in Minneapolis. They are currently 360 at 11. Still fine for the main runways then. QNH down there is 299.4, so almost standard pressure. Not QNH, altimeter. We're in the US. Inches, there we go, that's what it is. HPA or IN. I wonder what it's standard for. IN, like, what's that? Inches of pressure? But yeah. Cool, I will just check what runways there are, because the two main ones are 12 and 30, the two sides. They're the ones I want to use, like, so they're the main ones. Initially we were planning 3-5, we could use 3-5, but I wanted to use the main ones, which are very close to the terminal. At the moment I'm planning 30 left, land on 30 left, vacate Charlie maybe, somewhere around there, and then head into the terminal. If we were landing on 3-5, it'd be a massive tax. I could land on runway 4 as well, but really I'd like to stick with the main runways. Runway 4 does look like a pretty good shout as well, so if the winds get any closer, I'd probably... Oh, rip! I forgot it was a desktop capture, so you guys can then see my desktop background instead of that. But yeah, that's how I got it to work, the map and things. Very cool. Look, I think it is super cool. That I spent a good bit of time. I spent just before the VFR stream yesterday. I spent a good half hour, and I spent another sort of half hour this morning making final touches and making sure it all works. And it works in recordings. However, as I said, as we saw earlier, maybe it doesn't work that well in not recordings, but in streams it doesn't work maybe quite as well. Who knows? We're heading over to next waypoint about 92 miles now. When you make this compass light dim, it actually makes it brighter. I don't know, who knows. Here we've got 90 miles to run to the next waypoint. 295 miles to go until top of descent, so not bad. Making fairly good time though. See, I can't wait to do the transatlantic flight tomorrow. That'll be well fun. And then next week, more fun. It is Dash 8 week for us. It's going to be a crazy week next week. Next week, on Thursday, we are flying a Dash 8. And then, on the Saturday, we are taking part in the Stansted Tel Aviv City Link for ATC 5-hour stream. That should be pretty cool as well. And then Sunday, another Dash 8 flight. I mean, so on Thursday we're going from London City out to Jersey and then to Southampton. And on Sunday we are heading from Bergen to Oslo Garder Moen and back. So that should be really cool. I can't wait to do that. I honestly, I haven't flown the Dash 8 in ages. And I picked it up off camera, early this week, and I thought, hang on a minute, it's actually a very good plane. I thought, I haven't flown it on the stream forever, so let's do that. I mean, you can expect some very poor landings from me in that thing. It's an absolute nightmare to land the Dash 8 because its gear come out of its wings, and I'm pretty bad with it, really. I mean, I was flying with a mouse yoke in crosswind conditions, but I had a pretty bad landing. The problem with it as well is also you really need a rudder on the Dash 8, and as you guys probably know, I haven't got rudder pedals, so I can't really control the Dash 8 properly. I use a keypad on the keyboard for the rudder. That's like the easiest way of doing it. I think I actually do have something mapped to the rudder on my joystick, C1 and C2 back and forward, I think. Controls the rudder, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, bit of a nightmare for me. Who knows what controls the rudder? No, I'm pretty sure it is C1 and C2, however, because we're in autopilot right now, it probably won't work. The rudder, who knows? Looking pretty good. No weather in the area now, after that storm we had back in Denver. Think about it, I probably should have filed a weather report on Active Sky to let other people know. But never mind, I guess. Sorry. No one's flying into Denver anyway, so probably doesn't matter an awful lot. It's quite nice out there. Oh, I never did that look, just check I've done it. I did do everything on there, yeah? Yeah. Done the attendant checklist as well, so I can go on to the landing checklist. Oh, I right clicked then, and something made a sound. I'm literally scared of right clicking in this game, and if you don't know why, it's quite simple really. Right clicking in this game, I discovered, causes crashes. The last time, I remember, I think it was in January, I had quite a large break from streaming. And that was why I had a few months. I had like a month or so off Flight Sim, where I didn't really touch it that much. That's why. That's why I didn't really touch it that much. If any of you guys wonder, I think it was after the stream I did to Roving Yemi in December. I think I had quite a big gap, didn't I? Yes, I did. I did very few between. Right, let's have a look. That was on December 14th, look. And then the next one I did was January 11th. So yeah, I had between December and January, I actually had a month break from streaming. That's probably, that's what it was. So yeah, I don't know, that wasn't great. But once I figured out the solution, which is use S and Shift S and A and Shift A to control the camera, I haven't had a single problem related like that since. For some reason, yes, fiddling around with the FSX menu causes the game to crash. Who knows why? And it is a pretty major fault. So, you know, I mean, it's obviously the game isn't made anymore. So that's kind of it. I have decided I'm going to wait for FSX 2020, and I'm definitely going to pick it up, hopefully. There's no release date at the moment, it's just 2020. That's the release date of the game. I believe it is just called Microsoft Flight Sim. I know everyone calls it FSX 2020. That isn't the title of the game, I don't think. I think it is just Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yep, it is just Microsoft Flight Simulator, but everyone thinks it's Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. It's not FS 2020, it's just FS. MFS. So this one's FSX, so Flight Sim 10. You could technically call it FS 11. Obviously this is FSX for FS 10. Flight Sim 10. So it is effectively Flight Sim 11. However, I think because it's part of a new sort of brand, it is just Microsoft Flight Simulator. But it'd be interesting to call it FS 11. The only reason this is called FSX is because X is 10 in Roman numerals. So it just gets known as FSX. Which is quite a nice name, I think. It's a pretty good name for it. They all have pretty random names. They've got X-Plane and P3D. And they're all pretty random names. It's not just Flight Simulator. Flight Simulator 2018. Flight Simulator 2019. That's reserved for all the rubbish apps on the Google Play Store. If you guys have, honestly, is it Swiss 001? Swiss 001, he does a ton of videos on, he used to do a lot of videos on like World's Worst Flight Sim, and they were all these ones featured, like those rubbish apps and things, and you do play them and you think, what on earth? Well, I found quite funny, I was on holiday once and I downloaded an app called Canal Boat Simulator. Like, what? It was alright actually, it was pretty good, but like, someone actually made a canal boat simulator? Like, what? Quite funny. Interesting. What I have to say about that, I think. Very interesting. Right, latest update weather. Okay, we are expecting some brand new weather from Minneapolis in the next 10 minutes, as it's been an hour since it's refreshed. It's actually 19 degrees down there, so it's a very nice day. We are running accurate time as well. It was about 6 AM in Denver. It's more like 9 AM, I think, in Minneapolis. So it's a pretty nice sort of day. Got a little bit of weather over there. I'll have a look at the weather alerts right now. However, I don't think we are currently in a little airspace that does have moderate turbulence between flight level 290 and 390. But it just gives a bunch of coordinates, unfortunately, which I'm not very good at getting. So, I mean, how do you even view what coordinates you're at? I'm pretty sure there's a way. But yeah. There's a little bit, basically though, generally the way I play it with weather is, look at my weather radar. It's why we have it. So I know what weather is where. I'll just mute this while I open a snack. After a bit of fiddling around, I managed to get the snack open. Little cake. Num num. Nice looking plane this, gotta say. Do a flyby. Very loud. Sounds like a lawnmower gone wrong. There we go. Nice little flyby. Only back inside the cockpit now. We've got a little turn now coming up at this waypoint. Also guys, I have got like Tower 3D and I've been into it quite a bit lately, so if you guys want me to do a stream on Tower 3D Pro, I think it'd be a pretty good game to stream. I recently bought Munich Airport and it is my absolute favourite to control. So good. It looks pretty nice outside. We've got 200 miles now until we start our arrival. Now, unlike the 787, this thing doesn't calculate speed based on landing weight, so we have to constantly update it. Sadly, I have to just keep looking. But at the moment, it's about 137 knots. It's a fairly long runway, 10,000 feet, not too bad. So I'll probably be in auto brakes 2. Arrival I like to use in this plane quite often. I never like to use 1. I used 1 at the long runway in Denver on Sunday, and I was watching it back and I was like, that plane barely stopped. Like, I had to, it was reversed as it did the main stoppage. So it doesn't appear that auto brakes 1 on these Boeings really does much at all. So I kind of like using 2 when it's very short 3, but 2 is my favourite to use really. Haven't received the new weather through yet from Minneapolis, so we're still waiting on that. Sadly. Whoa, we're up to 61 playbacks now on the stream. That is a bit nuts actually. 61 clicks. And I've had, oh never mind, there was a slight bug from Active Sky popping up there, but there was like a tab from Active Sky that stayed on the screen even when I sort of minimised Active Sky, but it's gone now. We'll just ignore that. So that's the route map look of where we are right now. Do you guys like having that up? Shall I leave it up or not? And if so, where should I put it? I mean, do you like it just sitting there? Or what? I quite like it actually. But it's cool because you can see where I am in the sim then. It's really cool. Get rid of it now. But I think it's really cool. So we've got about 180 miles left now to Swan. I think we'll be descending. We're actually descending after Swan, just after. We're going to be above 240 at Eric's. So there's a bunch of above restrictions on the departure at arrival, but they don't seem to affect us too much. We've got to be at 8,000 Mauer. After Jenny, we're going to have to vector ourselves onto the approach, and then we'll be on a 7-mile final after. So quite a calm little approach. I'd like to see if the meta is out, the weather report meta, rather than what they have on Active Sky, because Active Sky is always really slow. KMSP, yes, they have the latest weather, 35013. Okay, winds are slightly more in favour now. Clouds are broken at 1000, overcast at flight level 250, altimeter 29905. Not bad, okay. It's 19 degrees with a dew point 8, so not bad. Not bad at all. Active Sky always takes forever to update its weather. It's done it now. So yeah, QNH is 29905. So I'll get that like pre-tuned, I guess. It's basically standard pressure though. Like it's pretty much exactly standard pressure, give or take 0.3. It's QNH 1014, so pretty much standard pressure. Which is kind of nice because we'll have no crazy altitude changes on our way down, even when we do multiply the active pressure at about 18,000. We don't, obviously, you know, we're flying the US, we don't need to change the forecast on here. Because obviously, like all Boeing planes, really, this plane is sort of built towards... basically, every airport has a transition altitude of 18,000 unless you tell it otherwise, basically, it seems like. That's how it is, really. It's quite nice out there. It's a little bit cloudy, but not too bad. There's currently one plane on the ground in Minneapolis. It's departing, but I don't know where. Interesting. Oh, there you go. They're going to Las Vegas in a 737. Okay. I'll have to see what time they're departing on what runway then. So that means I probably will have to use Unicom on our arrival in. Looks quite nice down there, don't it? How long till descent now? Can't be long. Only 160 miles or so, okay. About 20 minutes, not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all, really. And 63 playbacks on the stream now. That's insane. Totally insane. And very good. That beats the previous record of about 24 by quite a lot. Like, lots. I hope everyone watching does enjoy, obviously. Very much, obviously. We've got a nice, strong sort of tailwind now, finally. Fairly calm winds, though, just just a tailwind, which is perfect, really. I mean, when it gets too strong, this plane will start to bump around a little bit. I mean, I'm pretty sure the passengers in the back have already spilled their coffee at least once on the flight out of Denver. Sorry. Turned off the seatbelt signs like 2 minutes later. Way. So yeah, hopefully they don't mind. And you know, I mean, if I had GSX level 2, I'd be able to see all of them walking off, and I'd be like, yeah, sorry, but we don't have GSX level 2, so I can't see the passengers. What I can't imagine though is how much GSX level 2 would just lag the game. Like, as it is, GSX causes a few little lags when you first load it in. If that's loading all the people as well, I could just imagine the performance breaking issue. I don't really get the benefit of GSX level 2, honestly. Because I can just use FSX default jetways and they still move. So I get the benefits of the jetways moving without getting level 2 of GSX, so it's a bit of an odd one. Looks quite nice out there. Not too cloudy. It's quite cloudy over that side. But over that side it is a little bit clearer. And yeah, it does look like we are going to have some clouds of some sort over in Minneapolis. Hopefully not too strong. Oh, there's 2 planes on the ground in Minneapolis now. Another one going to Atlanta, so it's getting a little bit busier down on the ground over there. So we'll probably definitely use Unicom then, I'd imagine, when we start descending. Make sure people know what we're doing on the ground. Obviously I'm on Unicom, so if they want to alert anything, then sure. Because I don't know what the range of Unicom is, but I'm only 250 miles from Minneapolis, so I think it should be picking up fairly soon. Or if not now. Looks quite nice out there. Plane looks all good up here. Right, let's go outside. Let's have a little look outside. Nice looking plane there. Lovely looking plane. You know what? I don't think I actually have a thumbnail for this, so go ahead and take a little screenshot. Right, now I think it is time for us to have a look at where on earth we plan to park once we get down on the ground in Minneapolis. So that's the wrong chart. Parking gates, there we go. So I think we're probably going to use the ones on the side of 30 left. So probably the F gate, I think it'll probably be between. So probably stand maybe Foxtrot 12, something like that. I have got up-to-date scenery for Minneapolis. I installed it literally just before this stream started. I was like, do we have all the runways? And I was like, no. Okay, put in an extra one. But yeah, it looks pretty nice. So we'll probably vacate on Delta. Oh, there we go, let you guys see. Probably vacate on Delta, and then taxi down Bravo, and then head into stand Foxtrot 12, Foxtrot 10, somewhere around the F concourse of the airport. I don't know where Delta park in real life, but this isn't real life, so I'm not really that bothered about where we bother parking, honestly. I mean, it's pretty empty, isn't it, down in Minneapolis? There's a few planes, but no ATC or anything, so I think the stand in real life might be. I think it might use the D concourse, possibly. I always find it funny. The airline's called Delta, and Delta is D in the phonetic alphabet. I always wonder whether is Delta named after the D in the phonetic alphabet? Maybe. It's weird because I'm pretty sure there isn't like an Alpha Airlines or a Bravo Airlines or a Charlie Airlines, is there? Yeah, but I'm interested to know, well maybe D in the phonetic alphabet I don't think the phonetic alphabet would have been named after Delta Airlines somehow, though. I'm pretty sure the phonetic alphabet came first. I mean, because isn't the phonetic one from the Greek one, and then the Greek one sort of got changed into an aviation one? Because they are slightly different. Because I think isn't beta in the Greek phonetic alphabet? Because you use that when you describe games, alpha and beta, rather than alpha and bravo. I don't know. Who knows? Just over 105 miles to descent. Yeah, 108. Because we're descending literally just after. Well, I'm guessing that waypoint's called Swan with 2 S's. Maybe. Fuel's looking good on landing. Obviously, I did take about, I think that was it, about 80 kilos less than we were supposed to. So it would actually fit all in the 2 tanks rather than having to put it in the centre tank. Because when you have that little fuel in the centre tank, it just gets wasted instantly. It was like 0.06 kilos or something in the centre tank. Like, what's the point in that? It'll run out as soon as you literally flick the centre fuel pumps on, and it'll run out in, you know, a minute. With the Boeing 787, it makes sure the side tanks are full first before filling the centre ones. But the 737, maybe it's to do with its centre of gravity, it fills the centre ones and the side ones at an equal rate after about 7,800 kilos of fuel. After that, it starts filling them equally. Okay, one of the planes on the ground in Minneapolis has just taken off. I don't recognise that code, SCX. I don't recognise that code for an airline. And the other plane on the ground going to Atlanta is actually a Delta. So might see another Delta Airlines down there. Who knows? But that might be gone by the time we get down to Minneapolis as well. Because we have only got, if we were going direct at 216, we've got 243 to go. So we're not really missing that much on going direct. So it's 240 miles basically we've got to go, so not that far. So our descent is pretty good then. Our descent level about 150 miles now sounds pretty right, pretty decent. Just let this thing chew up the miles. It's not particularly cloudy down there right now. It's looking pretty nice. Lots of fields and things. As I said, I turned down the text resolution, and obviously I was meaning to put it back up for the VFR flying, and I forgot. But thinking about it, you know, I didn't notice it doing the VFR stream, and I can't notice it now. Like, I turn it down from very high to low to try and save on memory when I was doing long flights, and look, it's just like, it made a difference to the memory as we saw flying into Denver, but the scenery itself looks just the same resolution as it did before. I mean, it's not great resolution right now, but it wasn't great resolution before. That's kind of the thing. Who knows? That's just how it is, I guess. Sort of heading round to the new sort of heading we're on. The wind has picked up a little bit now, so we're getting a little bit more of a tailwind now. Almost 480 knots, which is very quick for a 737. Nice, we're going that quickly. Always good. And we'll be descending in about 78 miles, I should think, something like that, who knows. But yeah, it's a lovely day down there. I don't know, it's cloudy over that side still, but over this side it's still empty. It's like it was half hour ago. As I said, in terms of the weather down in Minneapolis, it's not too bad. We've got clouds broken at 10,000, so we have got some thick cloud, but by the looks of it, by the time we start descending, it'll be long gone. once we enter approach, which is good, perfecto. It'll be 19 degrees down there, so it's fairly warm, not too bad actually, considering it's about, what, 9 AM right now I think in Minneapolis? About 9 AM I'm pretty sure. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the time. What is local time? Look it up now. Time in Minneapolis. I think it's about 9 AM. Oh no, it's 20 past 8, so it'll be about 9 AM when we land. So, you know, time in Denver, I think. Is Denver an hour behind Minneapolis? Yes, it is. So yeah, I mean, we're fine in terms of that then. Yeah, pretty nice, the weather. I mean, it's a lot nicer than what it was in Denver, having to vector. It's probably the first time I've ever had to vector myself around weather. Even though I've had active sky for quite a while, I've never had to do that. I've never had to physically, like, take control of the plane using headings just to get away from the weather. It's not happened before, so... You know, I didn't want my passengers to get shaken up. You know, if the weather radar's red, the advice is generally don't go into it. That's why it's red. Red means danger. I mean, green means there's weather. Yellow means caution. Red means no. Just no. Don't go near it. It's quite a good rule, man. Not just for flight sim, for a lot of things like trains. Red signal, stop. Cars, red light, stop. Weather radar, you see red, you stop. It's quite important. You know, you go around it, you know. For example, as well, on V-Pilot, if you're talking too loud, your voice goes into a red bar. Red means turn down your mic. So it always, you know, it's quite interesting that, I think. And then weirdly, the main colour of YouTube is red. Red and white. Just realised that. So it doesn't apply to everything. It doesn't apply to everything. But yeah, I mean, and if you hover over a button, look, to cross off a tab, it's red. To mean, you know, you want to close this down, you sure? It's cool, that. And fun fact, airplane interiors tend to be blue because blue is a calming colour. There we go. Emotions and colours with Mad Chili. You didn't come for a lesson on that, you came for a lesson on flight simming, or just to enjoy flight simming, but there we go. Always a little bit extra, why not? Looks quite nice in here though, as you can see, blue interior, blue carpet. I've only just noticed there's actually a layer of cloud above us. Okay. There's some very high cloud out today. That's all I have to say. Some very high cloud out. Just check I've set the ILS frequency correctly. 110.3, yeah, and 301. Nice. We're going to cross the path soon, a little bit there, with the... I don't know what that path even is. It's just there. I think it's the active VOR we've got. Possibly. Oh, two planes on the ground again now in Minneapolis. It's getting quite busy in Minneapolis. But sadly, there's no ATC. So, that's that, I guess. I'll pre-type actually a message on Unicom. So, KMSP traffic descending. Make sure I spell descending right now. Descending. I always spell it without the S, I think it is. Yeah, I always spell it without the S. Via Torgy 3 arrival Swan transition using ILS 30 left approach. Cool, so that's my message on Unicom, all fully typed up for when we start descending in just, you know, about 35 miles now. Yeah, not very long. Let's go ahead and get this thing down to 40 nautical mile range now as well, because I can start to see all the waypoints showing up. Let's get the chart up as well, the Talkie 3 arrival chart, so I can follow where our plane is. Right, speed. Turbojet aircraft descend via Mach number until intercepting 280 knots. Maintain 280 knots until slowed by the start or assigned by ATC. So they're the instructions that we've got. 30 left, which is what we're doing today, right? Oh, wait a minute, I thought we were doing 30 right, maybe. Nope, 30 left. 30 left then. So from Konya, on track to Jaden. This is all the same stuff. They go to Jenny. And then from there, we're going direct to the ILS. We're meant to take radar vectors, but we're not going to be taking radar vectors today, as there are no ATC, and it was a pretty simple thing. Altimeter needs to be in inches, yeah, and transition level, flight level 180. And it's for turbojet aircraft only. That applies to us, of course, so we're okay there. Cool. So our arrival is all good. The charts were last updated 3 years ago, so the procedures haven't changed. So we are all good. For our arrival now, and then the ILS, obviously we've already set our decision height. From Abez, we need to get to Narco, and then it's quite a nice simple descent down on the glide path from Narco into the runway. So, and we've still got that weird, it's called AirMet Tango, and it's showing up on my screen from Active Sky. It's not going away for some reason. However, you know, Navigraph Charts is over it, so it doesn't matter that much. It's just a bit weird. So yeah, we're just about to start our arrival. We're back to 2 planes on the ground in Minneapolis, so quite a popular airport it seems. And today we've had 76 playbacks. That just makes me like, what? That's getting into most viewed video territory, and I've done it in one afternoon. That's nuts. Speaking of most viewed videos, my most viewed video actually hit 2,000 views a little bit ago. So if you guys want me, I was thinking, you know, now I've got a yoke. What would you do, guys, if I made a video on that game? Because I always had really poor landings. But obviously I had poor landings because I was using the keyboard. Now I know a lot more about aviation. Maybe we'll give it another go. So, I don't know. It was an alright game, that Holiday Flight Sim. As someone pointed out in the comments, it was a little bit more mobile app-like. If you guys want to check the video out, which I suggest you do want to, it's a bit laggy. It's from 2 and a bit years ago. My video content was nowhere near as good as it is now. Just, you know, it's kind of amazing in that way. Right, reset MCP altitude. I will, plane, thank you. We'll set this down to flight level 240 for now. Actually, no, forget it, 11,000. Initial descent. But yeah, it's on my, literally goes to the homepage of my channel. I think, actually, you have to be subscribed for it to show up. If you're not subscribed, it will show you one of my streams instead. So, either subscribe, or you can just search Labs Flug Sim or Holiday Flight Sim, and it should come up on my channel. Like, search it in the search bar of my channel, and it should come up, because I highly suggest it's worth a watch. Yeah, just watch the landing and then comment on how bad it was. It's what everyone else has done. And honestly, I'm not taking any criticism. You know, I don't really mind any criticism on that video. You know, it's from 2.5 years ago. The landing was shocking. I agree. Like, that's my opinion on the video, so I don't mind. Well, this thing started with a fairly sort of steep descent. We'll just go ahead and send a message on Unicom now. So passing flight level 350 now, so we descended to 2,000 feet already pretty quickly. For must say. We are now on the arrival as well, on the Torquay 3. Now the weather is looking okay in Minneapolis, not too bad. So, as I said, it's quite cloudy. As we can see, there are clouds clearly. They're not thick. We can see the ground through them. There's what look like maybe some more thick ones over there, but the clouds are really not too bad. It's a nice relief from what we saw in Denver, really, from the weather. Considering how crazy the weather was down in Denver. But yeah, it looks like this stream might be slightly shorter than usual. I said this flight, the only reason I was doing it, I really wanted to get some Minneapolis control because they've been online like all the time. I get no luck with ATC in the US, zero luck. I've never had ATC in the US, pretty much. But I think the closest I've ever gotten was last Sunday, where we got ATC from Los Angeles Center. I requested clearance, got given clearance, read back the clearance, went offline. And I remember once in Canada, we were landing in Kelowna and Van Calgary, which was where we'd been all day, all stream, we'd been there. Just as I exited their airspace, they came online. I was like, honestly, you can't make up my luck with US airspace and Canada airspace. I never get any ATC. And when I do, it's like very short or I just miss it. Like, I don't know why I get bad luck with it, but, you know. It's not their main online hours though, that's kind of thing as well. Their main online hours are between midnight and 4 AM. When obviously I don't stream. I mean, by midnight and 4 AM I mean my time, not US time. So, yeah. Because US time, that's evening for them, that's perfect timing for flights today. So that's kind of why. Looks like there's a little bit of turbulence. Definitely some. You can see the wing flexing about the place. Haven't received anything on Unicom from anybody about what they're doing. So that's interesting. At the moment there are still just 2 planes on the ground. One of them's going to Anchorage. Nice. I have to know, is it Sun Country Airlines SCX? Thinking about it, that might actually be Sun Country Airlines. I think, aren't they based around Minneapolis area somewhere? They're like a holiday airline, aren't they? Sun Country. Because it makes sense. SCX. Sun Country. Makes sense, I guess. The SC, Sun Country. Who knows? I mean, Delta's obvious, you know, DAL. Although Delta is spelled DEL, so they've got the spelling wrong on their code, but I guess that's just how they wanted it. A little bit of an odd one, maybe. Never mind. And there was also another plane on the ground at South Minneapolis Airport. So we're landing at Minneapolis St. Paul, and at South St. Paul Airport there is a Delta there as well. What's this alert we're getting? Unable 280 knots at Torquay. Oh yeah, because I forgot that. This thing, even though it says at 280 knots, we can't do 280 knots because of the altitude we're at. We have to be a bit lower before we can start doing 280 knots, really. I'm guessing ATC would normally give us something a bit different. And obviously there's no ATC, so it's a bit sort of off for us, I guess, in terms of the speed restrictions. Looks like these are rain clouds. Obviously, remember, it is overcast at 2,500 feet. Because Active Sky only shows the weather forecast for below 20,000, but the METAR shows all of the weather forecast. So it is overcast at flight level 250, which we are passing through now, and then we'll have another layer of cloud, about 10,000 feet I'm expecting. So we've got about 2 layers of cloud. Right, I'm probably going to turn on the seatbelts before we end up going through the clouds, because it can get bumpy quite often going through the clouds, even though it's not showing on our weather radar. Because the massive turbulence we had earlier, we were in an area of bad weather, but that specific area didn't show up. Yeah, we're descending into the clouds, and it's pretty thick cloud, as in, I mean, saying that, there's a little gap there, so it's not that thick, but it's thick enough that I can't really see down to the ground in most places. Since we're descending now, I'll go ahead and set auto brakes to 2. Check our landing speed, there we go, that needs changing. Cool. Clouds are a little bit lower than what it said, but it doesn't really matter. Remember, that weather report was for Minneapolis. We're not quite over Minneapolis yet. We're still about, well, 70 miles if you're going direct, which is what the weather report would obviously be. Because at the moment we are about 70 miles west of Minneapolis, and we're heading, I don't know, maybe you could say southwest. It's a bit tight. I'd say it's more like west. But if you want to be exact, it's probably west south, is it? So you're west southwest. So you're west of southwest. Is it a 16-point compass or something? Geography. no geography compass skills. You need to know them. But I think, yeah, so we're west of southwest. If you want to be that exact, it's west southwest. I don't think anyone else is that precise about compass bearings, but why not? By that point, we may as well just say we're at a heading of 071. But never mind. The clouds are clearing a little bit, it seems. There's not too many. Obviously, transition altitude is 18,000, but the pressure is basically standard. Oh, we've got 3 planes on the ground now over in Minneapolis. It's quite busy for an airport that has no controlling whatsoever, and no controlling in the area either. It's quite interesting. It's quite rare to get that. It's been quite a while since I flew into Minneapolis. We have done it once before on the stream. I flew from Salt Lake City to Minneapolis, and then Minneapolis to St. Louis, I think. It was actually the longest stream I've ever done, and still is, and will be until tomorrow, when I knock it out of the park with something about 3 hours longer. The flight to Montreal, from Montreal to London, is looking at about 6 hours at the moment, so it'll probably be about a 7-hour stream, something like that. I know, sounds interesting. I'm weird. Spends all my time on flight sim. Very interesting. But it's why everyone's come along to watch today. All 83 clicks on the video. I mean, can we make 100 by the end of the stream? 100 by the end of the stream? 100 clicks? That would be pretty insane if we could do that. 83 now, so there's only 17 more. Let's go for that. I'll probably throw a party if we do that. I probably won't, so I don't expect a party, but making a joke. Right, we're coming up on transition altitude now. We've got to be able to, like, we're well above those restrictions, so that's fine. Set it down to 10,000, which will be our next main altitude restriction. And that'll be at Jayden. We've got to slow down to 250 knots at Jayden as well. However, right now we're maintaining 280 knots like we're meant to. Even though this thing is sped up, technically we're meant to be at 280 all along, and the plane said it wasn't possible. And here's my plane proving it's possible. It's quite funny, really. There's 18,000. So we'll go off standard pressure, only altered us by about 50 feet, so no matter. Just do a quick sort of update on Unicom. So, Minneapolis traffic ETA is around 1400 Zulu. I know it says 1355, but remember, that will definitely get delayed by the time we've slowed down. ILS, what is it? 30 left approach. I'll just note down we're passing 16,000 feet so people know that. So yeah, we've got to be at 250 knots at Jayden. So after Konya, I'll probably get on the speed brakes. Make sure this thing actually knows what it's doing, because we are obviously gaining quite a lot of speed. So in fact, we're only meant to be at 280 knots anyway, so slow it down. Plane needs to slow it down a little bit, I think, doesn't it? Because the closer I am to 250 knots at Jayden, the better, really. Because at Burnville... actually, I don't think we go there, do we? No, we head to Maua. But at Maua, we've got to be 210 knots, 8,000. So I need to start slowing down in time for that. So yeah, Jayden, we're going to have to slow down for now. It's just 10 miles away. So perfect time to be slowing down. Oh, I didn't notice we'd sort of fallen into the clouds here a little bit. I'm getting ourselves slowed down pretty well here. And we'll set this down to 8,000 now, which is it is actually a you have to be at 8,000 waypoint at Maua. And at Hoodie we want to be above 9,000. So after Jayden, it probably might be a little bit of a sort of relaxed descent. To make sure we can maintain it properly. Whoa, thick cloud. Very thick cloud. This is probably the cloud that's broken at 10,000 that I saw. But wow, look at that. That is so thick. Look, I can barely see my own plane. In fact, I couldn't see my own plane briefly. I love it when that happens. It's like it's actually so thick you can't see the plane. I think it was in New York when I was landing. The cloud was actually so thick you couldn't see the end of the wing. It was that thick. It's nuts sometimes. You can get some proper thick cloud in the sky, and that's what's so nice about active sky, really. Luckily, we don't seem to be being bumped around too badly, which is a bonus. I'm past Jayden here, and we've kept the restriction there. Needs to be 250 knots. Look, we have actually managed to slow down below that as well.
Sun Country 471 departing runway 30 left on the Cape Route 1 departure, Minneapolis traffic.
Cool. So yeah, it is Sun Country, that call sign, and they're departing 30 left now, which is no problem at all. Just made sure I could listen to it basically there. Cause that's why I prefer to use text Unicom, because you can see it there for longer rather than relying on someone else telling you it. Like, and then that being it. It works with ATC, but I quite like to have text Unicom. I still use text Unicom, even though I could use voice Unicom. I don't really know why, I just do. Yeah, this cloud is thick. I'm expecting it to clear up about 10,000 feet, but I can't see anything below me, so it's not giving any indication of clearing up anytime soon. However, I can see a little bit of sky over there, so maybe it's starting to clear a teeny bit. We're already down at 250 knots, which is nice. Get us down to 10 nautical miles now. Right, turn on our landing lights now for arrival. And just as I do that, look, just as we pass 10,000, we have come out of the clouds to see the wonderful Minneapolis St. Paul airport. We'll be flying alongside it. We might be able to see the Sun Country take off, actually. Possibly. Where is the Sun Country? It'll be off one of those runways. Can't see it, sadly. Might be too long gone. It's currently, according to Vatsim, it hasn't taken off yet. Who knows? I can't see it anywhere. I'm pretty sure it has already taken off though. Who knows?
Minneapolis traffic, Sun Country 471's now clear of runway 30 left, final transmission, Minneapolis.
So it is obviously in the air now, according to the pilot, and all good. I want to get this thing slowed down, actually. It is a bit of an odd sort of... We've got to be above 9,000 at Hoodie and then get down to 8,000 in like 7.5 miles, which has caused this plane maybe a little bit of not knowing what to do. ILS 30 left. And we are currently about so this thing's starting to slow down now to about 210 knots, which is what we need to be at for our final. So we should see the runway parallel with us right now. There it is. We're going to land on 30 left and then vacate somewhere around there, I'm thinking. But for now we've got to obviously, we've still got 30 miles more to fly yet. We're around to 210 knots. Let's get rid of the speed brakes now. After Mal, we've got to descend a bit more. Oh, that reminds me, let's change the altitude sensor down to 3,000, which is the ILS altitude. Go around altitude today is going to be 3,000 as well, so yeah, we'll leave it at 3,000. Get the ILS frequency into active now, 110.3 and a course of 301, yeah, cool. Everything is ready for arrival then. I'll get ourselves onto the ILS chart now. Yeah, that Sun Country is heading all the way over to Anchorage. It's a pretty long flight, isn't it? Yeah, 2,200 miles. Wow. About 4 or 5 hour flight, that. Easy. MSP traffic, okay, departing 30 right. Departing southwest, okay. That is no problem for me. It's using 30 right. Quite a sort of intelligent move, really, if you think about it, given that I'm using 30 left. I'll write down when I'm established, actually. KMSP traffic established. ILS 30 left. Just get that. I won't send it yet, obviously, because we're not established. After Jenny, when this thing starts to turn, it was meant to be a vector, but as you can see, I can easily delete that vector. It's quite a nice sort of turn it's got ready anyway, so I'll do that. Dropping below 6,000 now. Auto brakes are set. Flaps, we're still in the flaps up position at the moment. We're not quite at the decel point yet. We're just about to hit it now, just before Jenny. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's Jenny with 2 J's. It's like, is it like Jenny, or do you still say Jenny? Who knows? And then it's to Abed. And then at Narco, we're meant to intercept the glide slope, apparently, and then we're on a 7-mile final for runway 30 left. And then we're planning to taxi to one of the Foxtrot stands, probably Foxtrot 10 or Foxtrot 12, somewhere around there. Looks quite nice down there. There we go, there's the... So I'll set the heading round now. So about 030, no, 020. There we go, it's probably like 025 or something. This thing's, obviously I'm not on the heading, I'm following something else. There we go, this thing's hit the decel point once it starts slowing down. How far are we out in terms of knowing when to put out the flaps? It's still 16 miles, we'll wait for a little bit before I bother with that. We'll go ahead and get the approach armed as well, as we're just 6 miles away from the ILS now. Right, let's take it on heading select from here, because otherwise this thing is going to take quite a topsy-turvy sort of approach in here, I think. Have a feeling. So in the end we're using vectors anyway, so who knows. And we'll set flaps 2, which puts us down to about 180 knots, I think, doesn't it? And I'll go ahead and get our speed brakes armed now. And then go, this thing's going to start slowing down on its own really from here. We're on a heading of 005, just making sure I can vector ourselves on correctly. Just making sure, there we go, heading to 000 now, just getting ourselves quite a gentle turn on. We have got the glide slope, but it's not active yet, and same with the localizer. The glide slope that we have captured, it's just not active. There we go, it's been active now. We've captured the localizer, so I can safely say we are established. There we go, semi-established message, say we're ready, and all that. Right, seatbelt signs are on, engines into the continuous mode, everything like landing lights are on. Just check the checklist down here. Yeah, all good. Speed brake, landing gear will come down when ready. Auto brake is good. Flaps are set, landing lights are on, and the start switches are in the continuous position. Just do a quick recall check. Good. I have the runway in sight. At Narco, we're meant to pick up the glide slope properly. And final approach speed is going to be 136 knots today. This can go down to 160 knots until we're about 4 miles out. That seems to be, I'd say, the typical procedure at most airports. We'll pop in flaps 5 as well. Make sure I can get ourselves slowed down pretty well. And estimated flight time today was 1 hour and 34, so we're looking like we're going to be pretty close to that. A little bit of a short stream today. Not the shortest, but, you know, could be a bit longer. But, you know, that's the flight we ended up with. I want to fly Minneapolis, and that's it. There's currently one plane on the ground now, because the other planes have actually departed. I can see it there. It looks like it is parked on the F concourse, which is where I'll be heading. I'll ask them what gate they're using. And we are 6 miles out, so I'm going to drop that to final approach speed now. Foxtrot 8, okay. I'm going to use Foxtrot 12, I think. Why is this moaning at me? Oh, it's the minimums warning, that's why. Right, drop the gear. And flaps can go full. Gears down, everything's ready then. Spoilers are armed, and auto brake is set to 2. Right, we're 4 miles out. I'll go ahead and take control of the aircraft. There! I have control of the aircraft. I have control of the throttles. And then we'll just follow the approach. We can have a pretty good landing in this thing. As I said, I haven't flown it for about 2 weeks now. Planning to vacate somewhere between Alpha 7 and Charlie, or Delta, so that's 3 exits we could potentially use, I think. I've got some scenery for Minneapolis. I have flown to Minneapolis off cam before, like in a sort of like some FSX default aircraft. I've done a little bit in, and it does look a bit different now. I've gone ahead and got some nice scenery. I don't think the scenery included many custom buildings. I think it was just an update, but the updated taxiways and runways, because I prefer that sort of scenery, because I actually quite like, I don't mind how FSX default airports look, it's how they're laid out. I want them to be accurate, and they're not always accurate. Looks like we have got a little bit of crosswind. It's actually 15 nautical mile winds here. Let's just check if the buttons I thought controlled the rudder do actually control the rudder. Okay, they don't appear to control the rudder. Oh, rip, I'm way too high. While I have been faffing around trying to look at the wind. I mean, it says we're way too high, but actually I'd say we're alright. But yeah, we're catching back up with it. There's 500 feet. Back on course now. The wind's not too bad. This is a point though. I was landing at Brisbane and had wind like this, but it was 5 knots instead of 14. So when someone would explain how my 787 got blown off the runway, please do. Well, I just watched it was from the stream. We flew from Melbourne to Brisbane last week, I think, and we got blown off the runway. Like, could someone please explain that? There's minimums, a bit back. This thing's very stable to land, actually. I think I've forgotten that. I've forgotten how stable it is to fly. Alright, I'd let, oh, minus 183. Nice, and we are down. And reverses out. 70 knots, reverses in. There we go, guys. Hello and welcome. Right, over to manual brakes now. Auto brakes off. There's Alpha 7. We're going to miss that, I think. Just a teeny bit. I think we might actually have had a rudder going there, because I think my controls have to be reset then. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and vacate on Delta, which is perfect actually for gate Foxtrot 1-2, which we're going to take. So Foxtrot 1-2, there we go, Foxtrot 12. Follow me, no thank you. Handling is by Delta Airlines. Right, flaps can come in. Perfect, I think taxiway Delta is pretty much the best stand for that arrival. Hello and welcome everyone to Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport. Pretty good landing there, minus 183. So we're going to go ahead and taxi ourselves around to San Foxtrot 12. Then, right, APU on. And on goes the taxi light, off go the landing lights. And that is about it then. We'll just taxi down Bravo now. And then into stand Foxtrot 12 for us. Very nice landing actually, considering I hadn't flown that for quite some time. Right, Foxtrot 12. Which stand is that? I believe it's this one here. Yes. Sadly, the parking charts don't actually support moving maps, which is where I can see my plane in the map. I have to use the airport chart for that, which obviously I can't see the stand numbers on then. Never mind, doesn't really matter, does it? So we'll go ahead and taxi in here, turn to the left, because obviously all the even numbers are on this side, the even gates, and the odd gates are on the other side. So that's a Foxtrot 8, then Foxtrot 10, we're Foxtrot 12. over here. Scenery looks to be pretty good actually, considering it's the default coordinate layout. It seems as if we are pretty much bang on with where that other Delta's parking. I mean, there's not too much scenery issues between the two. That's the Delta, it's heading out to Atlanta. Cool. Just follow GSX's instructions now. I'm going to have to turn to the right here a little bit, I think, to match up with GSX, what it's saying. Maybe. I want to wait and then turn round to the left. And then, looks like a pretty good park. There we go, that's bang on, look. Hopefully we'll get the little dance from GSX for that. How did the plane keep moving? That's what I want to know. The plane kept moving afterwards? Right. APU power can come on and off go the engines. Hello and welcome everyone to Minneapolis. How does our plane keep moving? I was at minus 0.0 feet when I parked and now at minus 0.03. How do you explain that? Okay, got a little bang for the parking. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? And pretty much lines up with that other Delta as well. And we're parked at the stand. Go ahead and get ourselves over to wheel chocks, parking brakes off, and ground power. Engine start switches over to the off position. Off go the seatbelt signs. On goes ground power, off goes the APU. Off goes the anti-collision light, off goes the taxi light. And off goes the fuel pumps. Off goes the electric gens, and that is it then. Hello and welcome everyone. Let's go ahead and get ourselves connected with the jetway and bring up the doors page. Open the cargo doors ready. We'll open the passenger door once asked. Crusty boarding, also have 144 on board today. Get rid of all of that on Navigraph chart. Select the jet bridge set up, and then we'll open the doors to passengers. So yeah, that is today's flight completed. Pretty good parking as well. Jet bridge is all, well, I don't know, it's pretty good parking from the jet bridge. It could be a little bit more connected to the door, but what are you going to ask for? Can't really get much better with FSX, can you? Right, open both the doors now. And there we go, everything starts deboarding. Go ahead and stop the block time there. 1 hour and 45 minutes probably, because I did stop it a bit late. Stop that clock as well. And there we go. And finally the flight director's right side, left side can come off. That can be reset to normal. Go up here, now make sure everything's all turned off, packs can come off. Trim air things can also come off. Has this thing got trim air? They don't all have that. There you go, this one does have it. May as well turn it all off really. Obviously, no, we're not doing another flight with this plane, are we? So may as well get it fully switched off. Strobe lights can come off as well. And to Pro Pete's. There we go. Hello and welcome everyone
You did a great job. Thank you for a wonderful flight.
to Minneapolis. Lovely looking plane this, gotta say. Yeah, I don't know, there is actually a NOTAM stock from Active Sky on my screen. There we go, now I've crossed off Active Sky, that's fixed the problem. FPS has gone up quite a bit, and I've disabled Active Sky. Whoa, 90 playbacks today, guys, that is amazing. We had more playbacks than we did subscribers of the channel. I'm not totally sure that's possible, actually, but we haven't had any extra subscribers either, so that is a little bit confusing, but, you know, whatever. I'm happy with it either way. That's absolutely amazing. I don't think that's going to get beaten anytime soon, put it that way. Really don't think it's going to get beaten anytime soon. There's 100% on the baggage unloading, so we'll go ahead and close the baggage doors. That unloaded pretty quickly.
Delta 1991, please pass from gate Foxtrot 8 in 5 minutes. And we're expecting runway 30 left for departure.
There we go, everything's gone back now, so that is it, guys. That is it for today. I could use this as my end screen, potentially. But no, I'm going to use this screen. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you really enjoyed. Yeah, 90 playbacks on today's stream. Pretty insane. Pretty nuts, I've got to say. Pretty nuts. Mixed with the crazy weather we've had as well. Go ahead and disconnect from Vatsim now. Close all that off. And, yeah. Hope everyone really thoroughly enjoyed watching the stream. Anyone who did tune in, you know, whoever amount of people tuned in throughout the stream. Hope all of you really, really enjoyed today. In the end, you know, flight time was, 2 minutes longer than planned, so pretty much bang on. Very happy with that. And that was probably just due to the vectors, actually, we took out of Denver, but I'm very happy about that. Playback's just hit 91. Absolutely insane. But I hope everyone watching really enjoyed. Really, we had no one in the chat. I mean, really, if that many people are watching, there should at least be something in the chat. But, you know, I've got silent people watching me. But yeah, I hope all of you really enjoyed. Remember, tomorrow we are doing a bit of a nuts stream. We'll be offline for most of it. You know what? This is the perfect time to test out to see whether this background music actually works. I am very interested to see if it works, so I'll be listening to it, because obviously the desktop audio is off, so I want to make sure it works. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you really enjoyed, and we'll of course be doing some pretty fun, pretty fun stuff tomorrow, I think. Should be pretty good, but hope you really, really enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one, and on Saturday, we are flying to Innsbruck, so... Oh, here we go. I can hear the music now. It needs to be a little bit louder, I think. But I hope you guys really enjoyed today's stream. Yeah, flying to Innsbruck on Saturday and transatlantic on Friday. So, pretty nuts stuff today, but I hope you guys really enjoyed watching. I will see you tomorrow at 9:20 AM, I believe. Or maybe it's 9:40. 9:20 or 9:40. I think it might actually be 9:40, you know. No, 9:20. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 9:20. Let's check my website. I'm pretty sure it's 9:20. But either way, whether it's 9:40 or 9:20 or on Saturday or whenever, I hope everyone really enjoyed it. It's 9:20 AM. Be sure to tune in. I hope everyone really enjoyed watching. I certainly enjoyed doing the stream. See you tomorrow at 9:20 AM BST time. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye!